Yoga with Vivian. Looking forward to a great session together. We are going to start with our 3-part breath in through the abdomen, chest, and throat. As you do that, filling up the lungs and the ribs are expanding. Take your arms wide, filling up the room, and exhaling. And another 3-part breath. Getting lots of fresh oxygenated blood into the body. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and exhaling. We'll warm up the arms with a couple of nice, simple range of motion exercises. Inhaling up, exhaling down, inhaling up, exhaling down. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one, keeping the hands together and reaching over to the right. Open up the left side of the body. Obliques are engaged for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1 and center and over to the left for 5 and reach. Open up the right side of the body and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. As we center our body, we bend at the hips and the knees into a nice barrel formation with our upper body, and we're up and down. Fingertips are touching. Triceps become parallel to the ceiling. Bring the abdomen in and squeeze the buttocks. And again, adding to the range of motion, the back is relatively flat for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. And that reverse swan dive all the way up. Bring the hands onto the waist, stepping a little bit wide, and hip circles. Engaging the low back, looking for range of motion through the hips. With your hands on your abdomen, you can feel your core doing the work. 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and change direction. Bring the abdomen in. Think about your posture. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And a nice back extension. Reaching up, lift up the kneecaps, bring the abdomen in, squeeze the buttocks. 4, 5, and 4. We open up the front of the body, and 3, and 2, and 1. As we straighten up, swan dive, forward fold. We're in a forward fold where our feet are a little bit wider than normal. Take your time. It's our first forward fold of the class. And relax that low back. Bring your hands up into ragdoll. And do a nice figure 8 leading with the elbows. Get that little sway, opening up the low back and the hips. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And I'm softening my knees as I come all the way up. I'm bringing my hands to heart. I'm putting some pressure on the palms, engaging the biceps and the triceps. My feet are still wide. Tuck the tailbone underneath. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. We're going to come all the way down into squat. So release the pressure on the hands, but keep them in place, starting with the knees and the hips, all the way down to squat. Feet are wide. We're on the balls of our feet. Our hands are together, practicing our balance. Bring the abdomen in, think about the posture, and release the shoulders away from the ears. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. We're going to pop up to a nice back extension. Lead with the hands, knees, up back extension, and reach. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Bring the hands back onto the hips and walk those feet in to a nice half lift. So we're dropping the hips, bending the knees, taking the hands forward, and we're onto the mat with the fingertips. Back is nice and flat. Squeezing the buttocks. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. We're going to come back up and do that again. We're going to come up. We're going to step wide, hands to heart, come down to squat. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Coming back up, lead with the hands, and a nice half lift as we walk the feet in, bending the knees, practicing our balance here. Squeeze the buttocks. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. We're going to stay down here and move to down dog. So I'm going to walk my hands to the front of my mat, take my feet back, pushing those hips up and getting those heels onto the floor. My gaze is through my thighs. I'm going to pedal out my legs, stretching out my Achilles, getting that nice sculpt look through my hamstring, and stretching out the back of my knee. So I'm pedaling out my legs nice and slow, pushing the heel in as I transfer my weight. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to take a nice inhale, relax my pelvic floor, engage my pelvic floor, exhaling for 5, step or jump into mountain. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Exhaling back to a nice relaxed position. We're going to stay up for the next sequence. We're going to move through some lunge and warrior series and practice the pivoting, which also adds to our flexibility through our hip. So we'll start with our right foot forward, coming to lunge, left foot back. We're on the ball of the foot. I'm going to drop my right knee. I'm pushing my chest out. I'm adding in my arms. I'm rolling my shoulders away from my ears, and I'm in lunge, a nice crescent lunge, and reach. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and I'm moving to warrior 2. So I change the direction of my left foot, dropping my arms to warrior 2. My gaze is over my right hand, and here I am in warrior 2. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm straightening that front leg. My hands are coming to my heart here, putting some pressure. Both legs are straight. Pressure on the palms. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and back to lunge. Take my shoulders square. Pivot my back foot and lunge. And reaching. Shoulders are away from the ears. I always need to remind myself. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and warrior 2. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Hands to heart. 4, 5. Beautiful posture. Chest is out. And 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Back to lunge. Square my shoulders. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Warrior 2. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, hands to heart, 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and standing straddle. So I take myself wide on my mat, I take my buttocks out as I allow my hands to come down onto the mat, and allow my upper body to relax in between my thighs, and open up through the inner thigh into the groin, and a deep stretch into the knee. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to walk my hands over, so my left hand is on my right foot, and a nice twist. Standing straddle. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I walk my hands back, so I'm in the center, nice and square, and then over to the left side. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And with my fingertips on the mat, I heel toe myself in. My feet are together, soften my knees, coming all the way up the mountain, relaxing. And then working through on the other side. So I move to lunge, left foot forward. I'm on the ball of my right foot, adding in the arms, and we'll work through this 3 times. The lunge, the warrior, the standing position. So here we are, abdomen is in, 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and warrior 2, 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and stand, put some pressure on the palms, great way to engage the upper body. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I square my shoulders and pop back to lunge. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Warrior 2, 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Both legs are nice and straight. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and I square my shoulders and move into lunge. This is our last lunge. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and warrior 2, 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and standing nice and tall, pressure on the palms. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and standing straddle. Both feet are tipped out. I release my hands and come down nice and slow onto the mat and allow my low back to really relax, and then bringing it all the way down. My gaze is in between my thighs. And now I'm going to deepen the stretch with just a little bend in my knee. I'm going from side to side. I have my fingertips on the mat, just keeping my head up. 4, 5, and 4, nice and gentle, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to come back to center, heel toe my feet in so that they're hip width apart this time, and soften my knees as I come all the way up. Beautiful back extension. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and straightening up. And that's going to walk it out here. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to come down onto the mat to do some nice floor exercises and work on some upper body. So that nice swan dive, I just bring my hands up and I forward fold all the way down hands are on my toes and I'm bringing my face in. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Half lift, fingertips on the mat, bend the knees, drop the hips, flatten the back. 4, 5, squeeze the buttocks, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And now we'll move to forward fold again, where we're going to tuck our face in first, and then bring the hips up by straightening the legs, and see if you can deepen that fold. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and we're moving to plank. So I bend my knees, drop my hips, pop my face forward, and my feet go back. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And we're going to move to barrel roll. So I come onto my knees, I bring my hands back, I arch my back into what would be cat, and then I round it out to the floor and over to the left side. So nice barrel roll. Knees are hip widths apart. And I'm exaggerating the pose, adding range of motion through the hips and the low back. 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and then changing direction, just like we do with those nice hip swings. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to bring my knees together. I'm coming to seated position. My hips are on my feet. I'm rolling my shoulders back away from my arms. I'm bringing this right arm across the body, using my left hand to bring that shoulder in. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And sweeping it back, and then same on the other side. Bring the left arm across the body, that sweeping action, just adding to the range of motion, and tucking it in nice and close. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and coming back. Hands are on our thighs, roll the shoulders back, bring the arms above the head, clasp together, bend the elbows, and jet the hands up to the ceiling, and stretching out those shoulder blades, lengthening the arms, abdomen is in. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And I'm bringing my hands down, rolling my shoulders back, and I'm coming to camel. So I'm up, my feet are flat, on top of my feet are flat on the floor. You can come up onto your toes. It'll give you a little closer clearance if that's something that you want. See how it goes, and then adjust your feet. So my arms are nice and wide, or long in front of me. And as I come back, I bring my hand to my heel, and then I'm up. And I'm working one side to the other. And I'm thinking about my quads. I'm building strength through my low back. Taking myself back and forward, focusing on the front of my body as I come back, and my low back bringing me up. This is camel. And 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Bring your hands down your side. Just roll the shoulders back. We're going to do it with the pelvic floor engaged this time. We'll just do a couple of them. So inhale, relax the pelvic floor. Bring your arms out, engage the pelvic floor, and engage through the motion. Exhaling for 5. Exhale for 4. Pelvic floor is engaged for 3. And 2. And 1. And relax. And come to rabbit. Bring my hands down my side. I bring my weight of my hips onto my feet. I'm keeping my hands behind me and I'm rolling in. My face coming toward my knees. Four, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And coming up nice and slow. I'm moving to plank. I'm going to bring my hands forward, coming onto the balls of my feet. I'm in plank. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Leading with the chest down for 5, and into cobra. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1, and cobra. So my elbows are in, my toes are pointed, getting my shins and potentially knees off the mat with a nice little rounded back. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Exhale down, resting on the chin. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale up, and then take your gaze over your right shoulder, stretching up the neck, looking for the toes in the peripheral vision. 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and center, and over to the left. 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and center. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. And moving to child's pose. So I'm going to lower my body. I'm going to take my knees wide, my feet come together, and one beautiful motion, come to child's pose. My arms are nice and long. I'm on my forehead. And I'm nice and square on my mat. 4, 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to walk my left hand over to the right side of my body. And I'm going to focus on my hips here by using my right thigh, my right hip, to push my left hip wide of my body. Adding flexibility through the left and strength through the right. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm relaxing my hips. I'm walking my hands back. My forehead is centered. And then walking my right over to my left. And now using the strength in my left hip to push my right hip nice and wide of my body. And reaching with that right side. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And relaxing the hips to center. And squaring here in child's pose. Exhale, allow the abdomen to relax into the floor. Four, 3, and 2, and 1. I'm coming up to pigeon. So I'm going to come up to pigeon. I'm going to start with my right side. So I'm going to bring my right knee up to my right hand. Wiggle my foot so it's a little bit parallel. And then take my left nice and long. And then coming down onto my mat. So I'm on my forearms. You can stay up on your hands. You can move to pronated where your arms are fully extended onto your forehead. wherever you feel comfortable and are getting the most out of this stretch. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And I'm just going to adjust myself to deepen the stretch for an additional 5 count. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And then I'm going to move to pigeon on the other side. So I bring my hands back, coming up to the ball of my left foot here. So I can get that left foot cleared, and then moving to pigeon on the side. And once I feel nice and comfortable and square, adjusting my arms for the full benefit of the stretch. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to make an adjustment and then deepen the stretch for another 5 count. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to bring my head up. I'm rolling into staff position. So I come over onto the hip. I bring my legs forward. They're up to the ceiling. My hands are on the mat by my hips. I'm pushing that chest nice and tall. Taking a beautiful inhale and exhaling. I'm going to be coming onto my back. We're going to do a bridge and yoga bicycle. I'm putting my hands on the back of my thighs. I want this to be a controlled roll where I pop my feet up off the mat and very slowly rolling onto my back. My head is flat on the mat. I'm bringing my hands onto the back of my head and we'll move right into yoga bicycle. We work across the body. So right elbow, left knee, and then continue working across. You point the toes as you take yourself long. Focus on the elbow coming to the outside of the knee, and shoulder blades are off the mat. And breathing. And breathing. Four, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And moving to bridge. Feet are flat, fingertips are on the heels. I'm rolling my arms so that they are very close to my rib cage so that I have a little space in between my shoulder blades. My hips are nice and high. I'm chin to chest. Bringing the abdomen in. I'm pushing those hips, stretching out my quads. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. And now bridge flow. Exhale, hips are down. Inhaling up and squeeze. Squeeze the buttocks as you come up, pushing those hips up, stretching out the quads and into the abdomen. And 3, and 2, and 1. Hips are back on the floor and back to yoga bicycle. Four, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. and back to bridge. Hips are up, make sure you're nice and comfortable. My feet are almost together. We're going to be doing a little bit of a balance here, so I don't want them too far apart. They don't need to be touching. So I'm in position. I'm going to lift my left leg. I'm going to point my toe, and then I'm exhaling, bringing my hips down, inhaling up. And 3 more, and 2 more, and last one. Keep the hip up, change feet, and then continue on. And 3 more, and 2 more, and last one, and down, and laying down butterfly. Bring the feet as close as you can to your sits bones, whether you walk the feet closer or bring your body closer to your feet. And then hands come on the inside of the thighs. Just encourage them to open up and rock back and forth just a little bit if you wish. Sometimes that rocking motion can help relax and really focus on opening up. And breathing. Heart rate should be coming down. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to relax, bring my hands on the mat. I'm going to bring my feet together, do a nice spinal twist, keeping the knees together, over to the right side, and take my gaze over to the left. And stretching out my oblique for 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. I'm going to take my feet up off the mat as I roll over to center, and then take them over to the left. And then my gaze is to my right. I just challenge my core by keeping my feet off the ground. 4, 5, and 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Again, knees and feet up off to center, and then corpse. Let's do a little body scan. Start by rotating your ankles. Hands are on the abdomen. 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and then change direction with the ankles. 4, 3, and 2, and 1, and relax. Lift the kneecaps, engage the thighs, bring the abdomen in. 3-part breath, front of the body fully engaged. Exhale, start relaxing. Throat, chest, abdomen, hips, knee, thighs, knees. We're going to come to seated cross-leg. Whether you want to roll onto your stomach to come up, use your elbows, or challenge yourself with a nice little sit-up. And here we are in a nice cross-legged position. I'm going to roll my shoulders back away from my ears. I'm taking my final 3-part breath, and I'm exhaling. And namaste. Thank you very much for joining this session. I'm hoping that you enjoyed it. Please like this on YouTube.